When you both are truly meant to be together, these three things are always happening. There's a certain hush that falls over the world when two souls are moving toward each other in the way destiny smiles upon. Not the loud, movie explosion kind of destiny, the quiet, inevitable kind. The kind that doesn't announce itself with fireworks, but with small, perfect moments that line up like stars forming a constellation only the two of you can see. Tonight, I want to take you through three things that quietly, insistently, keep happening when two people are truly meant to be together. These are not tricks, not lists of behaviors to check off. They're deeper, patterns that hum beneath the surface of ordinary life and slowly change the shape of everything. Listen slowly. Let the words sit. Subscribe now to Psych Secrets and be part of a journey where every video inspires you to see life with a new perspective. 1. Silence becomes conversation. Presence is the new language. Most people think love is about talking, confessions, long messages, late-night calls. And yes, words matter. But when two people are meant for each other, something stranger happens. Silence becomes its own kind of conversation. Imagine sitting across from someone on a Sunday afternoon. The kettle has just gone off. You both look up and laugh at the same private memory. No one feels the pressure to fill the gaps. You can watch them tie their shoelace. You can watch sunlight dust their cheek. And the silence does not stretch awkwardly. It settles like a blanket. That blank space is not empty. It's full. Psychology calls this secure attachment. Spiritually, it feels like home. The presence of the other person itself is the comfort, a wordless permission to be exactly who you are without edits. Scenes that show this: a late-night drive. The city lights smear past like watercolor. Radio plays a song you both half know. You don't need to talk. The road and the rhythm are enough. Waking up and watching them sleep. Your fingers trace a map only you can read. There's no desire to announce feelings because the fact of their breath beside you says it loudest. Doing mundane chores together. Washing dishes. Folding clothes. The work is not glamorous. The company is. When silence is not pressure but presence, you both learn patience. Arguments don't escalate into permanent divides because you already know how to be with one another in the quiet. That ease becomes a language, a nod, a look, a timing that grows more eloquent than any speech. Voiceover note: slow the delivery here. Let the listener imagine each scene. Pause between lines to create space. 2. Growth feels mutual. The push is gentle, not aggressive. Everything alive grows. Relationships that last are not stagnant pools. They are rivers, moving, sometimes slow, sometimes swift. But the difference between relationships that endure and those that break is how growth happens. When two people are truly meant to be together, growth is not about changing the other into your version of perfect. It is about a shared hunger for becoming, and the humility to accept that becoming looks different for each of you. Picture this. One of you learns to be braver, not because you demanded it, but because the other's courage gently rubbed off like sunlight warming a stone. The other becomes softer, not because they were told to, but because they felt safe enough to let armor fall away. The transformation is cooperative. It feels like spring arriving in two different gardens at once. Psychologically, this is co-regulation. You help each other return from the edge when fears flare. Spiritually, it becomes two people stewarding each other's souls. Practical signs you're in this kind of growth. The feedback you give each other lands as care, not as critique. You say, "I notice," instead of "you always." Mistakes are forgiven with curiosity rather than anger. You ask, "What happened?" Not "Why are you like this?" Ambition is shared without competition. Success is celebrated as if it were communal. I want you to imagine a scene. One of you wants to try something terrifying, maybe a career pivot, maybe a small stage, maybe a trip alone. The other doesn't lock the door behind them. Instead, they make room. They pack snacks. They whisper believed in words that travel like a talisman. That support changes the trajectory of both lives. Voiceover note. Use a softer, encouraging tone. Emphasize that growth is mutual and kind. 3. Distance and time test but never define you. Absence deepens belonging. This is the hardest one to explain because it's counterintuitive. You think absence would erode closeness, that time apart would fray the golden thread between two people. Sometimes it does. But when you're truly meant for each other, distance often becomes the crucible that reveals the purity of what's there. Not every separation is romanticized. There are real strains. Jobs in different cities, family obligations, seasons of life that pull you in other directions. But what separates lovers who are meant to be from those who drift apart is intention and resonance. When intended, distance teaches you how to translate longing into trust. You stop using absence as the measure of love and start using it as the measure of care. Instead of quick texts that try to suffocate, you send messages that respect the other's space. Instead of panicking when the call doesn't come, you trust that the roots are deep. Here are the small, invisible things that happen. Presence becomes quality, not quantity. A single, thoughtful message can travel farther than 100 empty check-ins. Rituals form. A nightly message before bed. A weekly call with no agenda. The same song that becomes your shared signal. Rituals stitch distance with meaning. Patience becomes a practice. You learn to hold pain without lashing out. You learn to carry hope as a steady, sober companion. Imagine a montage. Planes landing, trains pulling away, calendars with crossed-out dates. The screen shows both of you living full lives, separate, luminous, and then, quietly, converging. Your reunion is not fireworks. It's a reknitting of small threads. A smile, a coffee poured, a hand found. The world didn't pause during your absence, but you returned more intentional, more present. That return tells you everything. Voiceover note. Allow the words you return to linger. Let the listener feel reconnection as sacred. Interlude, the tiny tests that reveal truth. If you want a quick litmus test, small, honest, human, here are 3 micro-moments that always say something true. A crisis reveals care. When one of you is quietly falling apart, embarrassed, shameful, or scared, the other shows up without agenda. No scoreboard, just help. Joy is contagious, not competitive. When one of you shines, the other claps louder, not with envy. Happiness multiplies. Forgiveness is practiced, not postponed. When mistakes happen, you repair quickly because preserving connection becomes more important than being right. These are not big, cinematic gestures. They're the mundane miracles of real love. You'll find them on bad days, in hospital corridors, in cramped apartments, in the quiet of morning when the world still thinks you both are asleep. The sacred weave, how these 3 things stitch into a whole. Think of relationship as a tapestry. Silence as presence is the foundation, the warp threads. Mutual growth are the weft, the colored strands that make pattern and texture. Distance and return are the frame that holds everything in place, stretching the cloth so its design becomes visible. When all 3 are present, what emerges is not a perfect fairy tale. It's a living, breathing partnership. Imperfect, sacred, patient, and resilient. There will be storms. They will test, bruise, even briefly upend you. But there will also be the slow rediscovery of one another, like explorers finding a city they already lived in. A small story. Once, 2 people I know were apart for months, different continents, different headaches. They didn't text every day. They didn't make big promises. But when they reunited, neither asked for explanations. They met each other where they were. Tired, softened, different. Together, they made new maps. It wasn't a movie scene. It was better. It was real. How to listen to these signs in your own life. If you want to know whether you are truly meant to be with the person across from you, don't look for fireworks. Look for these quiet rhythms. Notice how you feel in silence. Do you shrink away or do you settle? If you settle, that's a signal. Watch how you grow together. Are your changes supportive or coercive? Do you invite each other to be fuller? Observe what distance does. Does it make you panic and possess? Or does it refine your trust? And most importantly, ask yourself, when the world is stripped down, when there is no audience, when it's only the two of you, do you still choose each other? Does choice feel like a soft, inevitable thing, not an obligation? Closing, an invocation for those who seek it. If you're listening and thinking, I want that, know this: destiny rarely arrives like a decree. It whispers. It builds slowly. It asks you to show up with courage, with patience, with honesty. Being meant for someone doesn't absolve you of work. It asks you to do the work differently, with gentleness, curiosity, and faith. So tend your silences. Water each other's growth. Treat distance as a teacher when it comes. In those ordinary acts of attention, you will find something extraordinary. If you've ever felt the hush of a meaningful silence, the gentle nudge of mutual growth, or the way absence deepens belonging, then you already know. You've been keeping the map. Keep walking. If you like this, imagine hearing it as a voice that sits beside your late-night thoughts. Subscribe now to Psych Secrets and be part of a journey where every video inspires you to see life with a new perspective.